Alright, welcome to another BBD versus CVM. Again, we are playing with some sweet new Theros cards, and should be an exciting.
Very good.
Yeah, they are very good, and it should be a very exciting video, hopefully. So, tell us, how are we gonna decide who goes first?
Well, we're gonna do the basic land game again. See if you can actually win. Since you're 0 for 2 on the 60%er.
What is that? What are the odds of bricking twice on 60%?
I don't even know.
I think it's.
I'm real stupid, so I can't tell you.
I think it's like 20%.
All right, so
something. I'm just really bad though. But
do you think I should do random or should I pick one?
I'll leave that up to you. I'll leave it to your discretion.
I think I'll pick one.
All right, he'll pick.
I'll go with this one.
Plains.
Oh man.
Forest.
Oh man.
Well, I guess I'm on the draw. Mountain. Yes. All right,
wow,
we did it. We did it.
What a slow roll.
Yeah. All right. I will be on the play. Thank you very much. Finally broke free and was able to do it.
I thought I had that one chained up.
Unfortunately, I was able to rock it. So, yeah, this hand is pretty cool. Basically, it reminds me a lot of my favorite Harry Potter character, Severus Snape. So I will be keeping this one. It's pretty good.
I don't think you're pronouncing that right.
Okay.
But I'm also going to keep mine. I have some interactive cards and a way to filter what we're looking at on top. So I'm going to keep.
All right. I will lead with a Godless Shrine.
So I will lead with a Temple of Silence.
Okay.
And scry 1. And I think I'm just going to keep that one there, actually.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Draw. It was an okay draw. We're just going to play a Swamp and pass back.
All right, so we'll draw for our turn. And we'll play another Temple of Silence.
Okay.
And scry again. And we're going to put that one on the bottom. Your turn.
All right. Come on. That card's fine. Wasn't exactly what we were looking for, but we'll take it. We are going to read some bones.
Okay.
So I will scry 2. We will put this one on the bottom. Yeah, we don't care about this at all, but we do want this definitely. So we're gonna put this one on the bottom. Then we get to draw 2 cards. Boom. Okay. Not bad. And we are now at 18 life. And your turn.
You have 7?
Yes.
Let's see here. So I have a couple different options between these. And I think that I'm going to lead with this one and shock myself.
Okay. Down to 18.
So that we have a couple different options that we can use here on end step. So I'll pass.
Okay. Draw. Not exactly what we want. So we have basically 2 options here. I don't think we want to play this. It doesn't do anything right now. So basically it's either of these 2. And I actually want to lead, well, do I want to do that? So there's merits to both of these. This one demands an immediate answer because it could get out of control. But this one maximizes our mana a little bit better. So I think we actually just want to maximize our mana. So I'll shock myself down to 16. And we'll throw out the D. Desecration Demon. So he shocked himself so he could just away it, which is a little unfortunate. But, you know, that's how it can break. So, pass to you.
So I think that I'm actually just going to use this one, since it actually kills it now, and it might not later on down the line. So we're going to -6.
Okay. Dead.
He's very dead.
He's actually barely dead. But
when we're talking about death, just enough is very dead.
Okay.
So I think that We definitely just want to play this and pass.
Okay. We will draw a card. That one again. So we have the option between either of these. With him holding up mana, I feel like it's not really that particularly important for us to put this out here. He might just kill it immediately. Kind of much like he did with our Desecration Demon, and it would maximize his mana to do so. So I think I'm actually just going to cast Read the Bones again. And I don't plan on attacking with Mutavault, so I'm going to tap it to cast it. So we get to scry 2. I think we want both of those on the... We don't want either of these cards, so we'll put them both on the bottom. And then we draw 2. And both of those are fine. So we are at 14. Just killing ourselves. And we will play a Swamp and pass off.
Alright, that was actually a very good draw. So we'll go to 16.
Okay.
And play a Blood Baron and pass.
Yep, that's a little unfortunate for us. Blood Baron is one of the few cards in this deck that we are going to struggle to be able to beat. But one of the ways we can hopefully do it is with Obzedat. So we will play Obzedat. We go to 16 and he goes to 14.
Yep.
And we will exile Obzedat.
Okay. So I can either wait for one of these, or I can just play this. And I think that just playing this is going to be best, as I think he's going to be hard pressed to handle it. So we're just going to attack.
So down to 12, you're up to 18.
I'll play this and then another Blood Baron and pass.
Wow, okay. Yeah, that's a problem. Alright, Obzedat comes back. We go to 14, you go to 16.
Mm-hmm.
Draw. Ugh. Yeah, double Blood Baron. Just had it all.
I had one, and then my good draw mark was the second.
Yeah.
I got to scry to it, that's why.
We'll just cast 2 Night Veil Specters. And then exile Obzedat.
Alright, so I'll draw. Okay. I think this was actually a pretty good draw for us. Attack for 8.
Okay, I go to 6, you go to 24.
Let's see here. So I can... I think my best bet at this point is just to pass the turn and wait and see what he does.
Okay. Obzedat comes back, so I go to 8, you go to 22. We will draw a card. It's an interesting draw. So we're dead next turn to his Blood Barons, basically. So I think we're just gonna hope that this works. So I'm gonna cast Whip of Erebos.
A Whip of Erebos.
Whip is hopefully gonna be good here for us.
All right, it's gonna resolve.
Okay, awesome. So Whip resolved. So that gives us some much needed lifelink. He probably has a far and away. I feel like he probably has a far and away. Which is a little unfortunate. But I still think our play here is just to whip our Desecration Demon.
Sure.
Okay. So we have whipped our demon, and now we have to go to attacks, and I think we just send everything. He might charm our Obzedat, but we basically have to gain as much life as we possibly can. So we will send them all. We're gonna really hope that this whip is good enough to get the job done. Probably not,
right,
but
so first comes to first. I think that I just do this first. Yeah, so I'm gonna far and away.
Okay.
And I think the right play here is to bounce the demon, because then it just flat exiles it. The other option is, since I have this, I could bounce the Obzedat. And then I don't get to lock out his draw the following turn. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to bounce the demon.
Okay, and have me sacrifice. Okay, so the demon gets exiled as part of the whip's ability.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to sacrifice a Night Veil Spectre.
Yeah, and then we're going to charm the Obzedat.
All right, so he basically just had everything, so that's really unfortunate for us. But take 2, we gain 2, we go to 10, and we get to flip your top card. And
does it just exile it face up?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so an island, which we will play as our land for the turn. And
I'm pretty sure you played a land.
Did I play a land? Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think I did.
I haven't missed any land
Yeah.
yet.
So we can play that next turn if we need to. But go ahead.
All right, so okay, so we get to draw. That was a pretty good draw, actually. So we know what his top card is. And so he can whip the Spectre if he wants. But I think that I would rather just get rid. So we're going to attack for 8.
Okay, 2 to 30.
I'm at 28. You missed the 2 damage from the Spectre.
I had you drop from 24 to 22 when I hit you.
I went from 24 to 22 when your Obzedat came into play that turn, and then 22 to 20 from the Spectre.
Okay, so now you're at 28. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So this just gets exiled for good. We can't play that anymore.
And then I'll pass the turn. Excuse me.
Alright, so we're going to draw an Obsidat. And I think we just are dead. Like, I don't think there's anything. I guess... the only thing we can do is whip our Night Veil Spectre and see what happens. Yeah, it's the only thing we can do. So I will whip Night Veil Spectre and attack.
Okay, so I have to think, what are the options here? So if he hits far and away, he can get rid of one of my Blood Barons. And then he could play a land and block the other one with the Mutavault. I think that it's going to be best just to make sure that nothing possibly happens here, and I'm just going to Hero's Downfall the Spectre.
Alright, that's game. Alright, so we are back for the second game. I will be on the play again. Unfortunately, Scumbag CVM
had it all.
Both of his 2 Blood Barons on turn 5 and 6.
I spent a lot of time at the temple, scrying my way to the gods.
Sure. So, which we actually, surprisingly enough, I felt like we actually had a chance to beat with just the lifelink from Whip, but he was able to kill our guys, so that didn't happen. And I'm keeping this hand. This hand's pretty sweet.
So this is one of those hands that these cards give you the option to actually keep. So this hand isn't super awesome, but I do have, a couple very good cards against him, and then just being able to use this to find more lands is going to be very good. So I'm going to keep this one and see what happens.
Okay, so I'm going to lead off with Temple of Silence, and we'll scry. Yep, absolutely do not want that card ever. So shipping that.
Sweet Doomblade, buddy.
Put that Doomblade on the bottom. Go.
So that was a good draw, and we're going to Temple of Deceit and scry. And we'll keep that guy there.
Okay.
So this is what I scried, and I want to keep it with the rest of my cards, so we'll put it there.
Okay. Draw. All right, that's a reasonable draw. Hopefully we're gonna basically take CVM to church here and make sure he pays the tithe. So.
Oh man, it's not very nice.
And you get some lifelink vampire out there.
All right, so I already knew what I was drawing, so I have a couple options here. Like I can just play one of these and start taking damage from that guy, but I am on the draw, and I feel like that as long as he just doesn't beat me down, I have a good shot at this game. So I'm going to just play an island here, and we're going to physique that guy. Go ahead.
Wasn't very nice. Was not nice at all.
You should watch what he eats. His physique was a little warped. Patrick needs to stop going to church and hit the gym.
You know who else needs to do that? I'm going to take 2 from this and then play Night Veil Spectre.
Yep.
Go. So hopefully that guy gets to connect some. We get to play some sweet cards off of the top of CVM's deck.
Alright, so we're going to shock.
So we're at 18, which means he is not going to be doing that.
He is not, and we're just going to downfall him.
Alright.
It's your turn.
He is dead.
So like this is an instant, and I could just like wait for his turn. But I think I would just use it now.
We'll play another one. Say go. Basically, gonna ask the question: how many removal spells does CVM have in his hand? The answer probably 8, but
well, we got another one.
All right.
So go ahead.
Speaking of, okay, that's probably pretty good. But yeah. Speaking of having another one, let's go ahead and have another one of these guys out there. See if third time's the charm. Is that what they say?
So that guy's actually going to get to connect.
Let's see. Baron.
Let Baron pass.
Scumbag CVM. All right, we are going to connect.
16.
Plains. We'll play it as our land for turn. Alright, let's find out if CVM's double baroning us here.
I am not. I have a Temple, a Heliod, and a Supreme Verdict.
Alright, we get to get a Heliod, so that's pretty sweet. You have a Supreme Verdict and a Temple, okay?
So that's very unfortunate for us.
Yeah,
Heliod was going to be very good with this guy.
Yeah, so that's pretty sweet. We also know that he does not have an answer to Underworld connections right now, so we're going to go ahead and connect up. Whichever one of these is his plans, we'll connect that one. So I don't think we need that many white sources. And we'll pass the turn.
I definitely should have waited on my detention sphere, apparently, since you had your third Night Veil Spectre.
Indeed. So unfortunately, Blood Baron is kind of a clock that we have to respect. Hopefully we get to draw some stuff to deal with him.
So I'm going to attack.
So 14 to 20.
Now this is just a super awkward play, but I think that I can't afford to let that Spectre hit me anymore. So I think that I just have to Verdict away my own Blood Baron. So I'm going to go to 18. And we'll Supreme Verdict.
Okay.
So I definitely would have been a lot happier with that play had my Heliod not got taken.
Draw. Alright,
one of the 3 cards in my deck.
It wasn't a very good one for us, so we'll go to 13. We will connect.
Draw some more Doom Blades, buddy.
Woo! Woo! That one's a little bit better. So, the DZ, as they say, will come into play. We'll go to 15, and he will 16. Go to 16. And I'll exile him. You're up. I like Obsidian a lot with Underworld connections because he provides you with the life you need. Same with Whip. Whip is very good with Underworld connections.
We're going to scry with the Temple.
Okay.
And so this is the scry card, and we'll leave it on top. And then I'm going to pass the turn.
Okay.
So I could use this here, but I feel like this is just like the best card in his deck, and like even though I know what that card is, there's just no point in me using a Thoughtseize here.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go to 17, and you're gonna go to 14.
Yeah.
And I'll draw for turn, and I'll get connected. Down to 16. Draw off the connections. Ooh, that was a sweet one. That was a really sweet one. I'm actually going to cast this before I attack, because if he has a removal spell for Obsidat, I want to get as much devotion as I can first. So I'm going to play this guy, the Overlord, and I get a Harpy equal to my devotion to black, which at this point is
6.
6. 2 from connections, 2 from Obsidat, and 2 from him. So 6 Harpies will enter the fray. And hey, exactly 6 Harpies. Perfect. And the DZ will get in there. So
I'll go to 9.
He is at 9, and end step I will exile him.
Alright, so we draw for our turn, and we know what we're drawing. So I have to figure out just how much damage he can do to us next turn. Which looks like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
It's
17,
7.
18?
Well, you have he is 7 actually, so it's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
yeah,
19.
So I said we have to sack a guy.
So it's 18.
Yep. Yeah, so I guess at 18, which is more than what I can deal with at the moment. So even if I guess I can rev for 4, but I don't think it actually does anything.
I mean, if you're just gonna die from that, you probably just.
I mean, I have a Thoughtseize.
Yeah, but I mean, you can rev for. Yeah, you can't even rev for 1. You can rev into Detention Sphere. So you should.
Yeah, I guess I could rev into Detention Sphere. So rev for 1.
Well, you can rev for 2, and then try to hit land.
Detention Sphere?
Well, revving for 1.
I mean,
I don't know.
They're both real bad.
They're both pretty bad, yeah.
I think one's fine.
Okay, all right.
But even then, yeah,
well, then
7. Yeah, you have to sacrifice this.
Yeah, or this, like one of the two. But yeah.
So I'll go to 10.
Okay.
Oh, I drew. Oh, I guess this is helpful too, but I'm dead.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right. We're back for sideboarding here. I get to cut a lot of these cards that are actually just completely dead. Orzhov Charm, I guess it's not 100% dead. I can bounce my own creatures, but it's basically dead. Since I'm never killing any of his and I don't have any 1-drops. And then Doomblade just literally does nothing. And then Tithe Drinker is not dead, but it's not great either. If I have it on turn 2, I actually think it's probably fine against him. It pads our life total against like Blood Barons, and the Extort can be relevant, as well as the damage it deals. But I still think it's one of the worst cards in our deck.
I agree.
Bringing in for it, we have 2 Elspeths, which are pretty self-explanatory. This card is very difficult for him to beat if we get it in play, and it also kills Blood Baron. So that's very, very important for us, the ability to kill Blood Baron. And a lot of our creatures are like Nightveil Specters and Lifebane Zombies and Sin Collectors, like don't die to her -4 as well. Thoughtseize and Sin Collector, pretty self-explanatory. We want to take Planeswalkers and Heliod's and Blood Barons and Sphinx's Revelations. And then Glare of Heresy, again, gets rid of like Detention Sphere and Heliod. So I think this card's probably pretty good. Like, it's probably not amazing against you, but it also gets rid of Elspeth too. So
yeah.
it definitely will do a lot of work. I also considered bringing in Blind Obedience, but I decided against it eventually because his deck is more of a tap-outy control deck, where Blind Obedience is worse than if he was like a straight pure like blue-white control without as much like board presence. Then we can actually conceivably drain him out. But you know, if he's just hitting us with Blood Baron, it undoes Blind Obedience. And then Thrill Kill Assassins, mostly for aggressive decks, so it doesn't really apply here.
Yeah. So I'm bringing in Heliod. It's just great in like grindy matchups. Keen Apparition as an answer to Whip and Underworld Connections. Also, Keen Apparition can just like, if he doesn't have a bunch of creatures, I can just actually pressure him if I play it early enough. Devour Flesh is just like another answer for Whipzedeezy and Nightveil Specter to go along with like Physique and Far and Away and all the other removal spells that I have. And then Python Needle just to be able to stop Whip and Underworld Connections, and also can stop like Mutavault that I saw, as well as you know, like you're bringing in Elspeth. I don't really want to needle Elspeth because I have my own, but you know, if I need to, I need to.
Yep.
And then I'm cutting like the Azorius Charms. I don't think they're very good here. Like they, at the very least, cycle to draw a card, but I don't want to just like be putting a creature on top of his deck and he can just recast it the following turn. I'd rather just use a removal spell to kill it.
Especially if that creature's like Obzad or Lifebane Zombie or something that has an effect.
Yeah, or like Sin Collectors that I'm imagining that you're bringing in. And then like I don't think the counter spells are very good. I'd rather just like handle his permanents. And then I'm cutting the Jace. I don't think that Jace is very good here, which is probably wrong. So like while we're playing the sideboarded games, if I feel like other cards are underperforming, this is the first card that I'll bring back in.
Okay. So
let's see what happens.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
All right, we're here for game 3. I finally get to be on the play.
Exciting.
It's the first sideboarded game. I feel like your sideboard is a lot better for this matchup than mine is. But Pithy Needle, I think, is still very, very good against you.
It definitely is.
Okay. So I think that this hand is actually pretty good. So we have this. It allows us to see what's going on. We have a couple removal spells and a way to filter our draws. So I'm going to keep mine.
Okay, I'm going to keep this as well. It's a little awkward having like this and then also this, but I'm hoping that these cards will like chain us in there. So.
All right. Well, we're going to go to 16 and Thoughtseize.
All right. We have Underworld Connections, Read the Bones, Elspeth, and 4 lands, 3 swamps and Immutable. So Thoughtseize is a little unfortunate for us because like we're relying on these cards to get us there. So now we have to rely on the top of our deck to be good.
Alright, so I definitely don't think that Elspeth is the card that I take here. It's going to be Read the Bones or Underworld Connections. And I think that Read the Bones is really good. And because I have this, I think that I'm just going to take the Read the Bones.
Okay. So him taking Read the Bones there, basically says to me he has an answer for connections. Otherwise, he would snap take the connections. So what that means
but
to
even
me
still,
is
like Read the Bones is very good. Like it could just be potentially
right.
Like I have more answers in my deck for
Yeah.
for connections.
So because of this and also what we just drew, like we know he has an answer to connections. We don't want to play it until turn 4, so we can get a card off it, guaranteed. Even if he has like a Detention Sphere or a Pithy Needle or whatever he might have, Keening Apparition or something. And there's merit to leading with Mutavault, so that we can try to bash him for 2 on the following turn. And I think we're actually going to do that since we drew this. Normally I would say lead with Swamp, because if we draw a Night Veil Spectre, we want to cast it on turn 3. But since we have a turn 3 play anyway, I'm fine leading with Mutavault here. That way if he plays a tap land or some way to not interact, we can just get in a free 2 points. So. And since he thought seized himself off a shock land, that 2 points might matter.
That is very true. Alright, so we are just going to play a tap land, but we get to scry.
Okay.
So it's a Temple of Deceit, and this is a very good card, so I'm going to leave it there.
Okay.
And then I'll pass.
All right. That's a pretty good draw for us. It's actually a very good draw for us. But we're just going to activate a Mutavault and get in for 2.
14.
And send it back to him.
All right, so we're going to draw the card that we left there with the scry, and we're going to read some bones.
Okay, so he will drop down to 12.
So we're going to go to 12. So we're going to scry 2, which are these 2 cards here. And I think that both of these cards are actually very good. So I'm going to just draw both of these cards.
Okay.
And I'll pass the turn.
Okay. This is a pretty good draw for us. We will definitely want to play this next turn. This turn we're just going to Lifebane and try to hopefully hit, like, if he has a Blood Baron, we're definitely taking a Blood Baron, but if he has even just a Heliod, I'm fine just snagging that as well. So hopefully he has something. Looks like he doesn't, so that's unfortunate for us. He has 2 Verdicts, 1 Sphere, a Godless Shrine, 1 Elspeth, 2 Verdicts, a Sphere, a Godless Shrine, an Elspeth, and a Temple of Deceit. Alright, so unfortunately we missed, but he is at 12 life, and we know he doesn't have an instant speed removal spell, so we are actually putting a lot of pressure on him with Lifebane and Mutavault, so I'll pass to you. So it's actually good. We may actually force him to have to Wrath this turn. Just our Lifebane.
Alright, so that was actually a very good draw for us. So that lets us play this. That lets us play this and be able to do this. Which I think is going to be just fine. So I'm going to just play this Godless Shrine.
Okay.
And then we'll pass the turn.
Okay.
So I'm letting him untap because, you know, when I do this, you know, if he were to utilize his options, I'm actually perfectly fine with that because I still have both of these cards.
We're going to start by just getting in with Lifebane Zombie and seeing what happens.
I'm going to Devour Flesh Show.
Okay, so we have the option to activate Mutavault here to sack that instead, but we don't want to miss lands. We want to hit all our lands, so we're fine sacking the zombie here and we gain a life. We go to 21. Now I'm going to go ahead and cast Read the Bones.
Man, drew your other one?
I did.
The card's real good.
It is very good. Okay, so we have these 2 cards. I think we like this card. Well, do we actually want that card? We know he has 2 Supreme Verdicts, so actually it might not be that good. We definitely don't want this one because we aren't even close to casting it. So, and I actually think we don't want this one either because, we know he has 2 Supreme Verdicts. He also has a Detention Sphere. and an Elspeth. But yeah, because he has 2 Supreme Verdicts. Well, actually, I think we do want it because he might have to verdict just this by itself. So yeah, we will keep this one. So that's one of the cards we draw. We'll put this one on the bottom, and we get to draw another card. Okay. All right. Well, he's back again. And we are then going to Thoughtseize and go to 17. So the only card that scares us here is just definitely the Elspeth. He can verdict our guys a couple of times or detention sphere our things, and that's fine, but we just don't want to lose to that Elspeth. So we will take the Elspeth. And pass the turn.
All right, well, that was actually a very, very, very good draw. Probably the best draw that we could have at
Blood Baron
at
off
this
the top?
point. No.
Okay.
I mean, I can't cast it because I have the temple.
Oh, right.
But it is just like the next best thing. So I'm going to play this temple.
Okay.
And we're going to scry 1. And I think I'm just going to put that one on the bottom.
Okay.
Then we're going to play Jace.
Okay.
And we'll +1 the Jace. And it's your turn.
Yep, Jace is definitely a good one for him there. See what we draw.
So maybe Jace is good. I might want to bring that one back in.
That was a pretty unfortunate draw for us. I think we want to play this just to put the threat of it out there rather than do this, because this is just going to like draw us 1 card before he detention spheres it and doesn't really advance our board any. And this, so yeah, and this play also lets us attack with Mutavault. So we're going to play Night Veil Spectre, and we're going to attack Jace with the Mutavault and take him down to 4. And pass the turn.
Alright, so we'll draw. So I can minus the Jace. However, if I do that, then I have to just verdict away his Spectre, and then he gets to kill it with the Mutavault. But I think that I want to be verdicting here anyways. So I think I'm just going to play this, and we'll scry and see what's on top.
Okay.
That is actually a pretty good draw. So we're going to leave that there.
Okay.
And then we're going to verdict. And +1 the Jace.
Okay.
And I'll pass.
Alright, so we know he still has a detention sphere and another verdict, which are the 2 cards in his hand. So we know the cards in his hand. It's not a terrible draw. I think we start by Underworld connecting the swamp and drawing a card. So we're at 16. Draw. Okay. Okay, that's reasonable. Our swamp is probably going to get detention sphered next turn, but we're going to play an Orzhov Guildgate, which will hopefully set us up down the line to cast some of these spells, and we'll pass the turn.
Okay, so him playing the Guildgate here is good because that means I can use Jace's -2 here, and it doesn't die to the Mutavault, which is very good. So we're going to draw the card that we knew that we had. I'm going to use Jace's -2.
Okay. We're going to split far and away with the other 2. We already know he has a verdict, so an additional verdict I don't think is that much of a problem for us. So if he wants the land, we want to give him the worst of the 2 options to go with it.
So we're actually going to take the land.
Okay. Bottom.
This goes on the bottom.
So we now know he has a Hallowed Fountain, and a second Supreme Verdict.
And the land allows us to shock.
So he's down to 10.
Detention Sphere, the Underworld Connections.
Sure.
And then play Heliod.
Sure.
And pass. So Heliod's going to give us a good way to help protect our Jace.
So we know the 2 cards in his hand are both Supreme Verdicts. Unfortunately, we did not draw a white source.
For that Whipzedeezy. Wish this was Jace the Mind Sculptor, and I could just Fate Seal you.
We have to attack Jace here because we don't want to give him the ability to plus. So that is one thing we have to do. Play land. And I actually think we have to play this card, even though it's worse than just playing this, since we know we'll hit with this. This does nothing against this Heliod, whereas this can still kill his Jace. So we'll play Lifebane Zombie. Because Lifebane Zombie has Intimidate, so... Which, those are not...
They're white.
Okay, yep.
They're a white enchantment.
Are they artifacts? They're not artifacts, are they?
No, they are just enchantments.
Okay. Yeah, so they can't block Lifebane Zombie.
Correct.
And you have 2 verdicts, right?
Yep.
Okay. And we're done after that.
Alright. Alright, so let's draw a good one. Oop.
Bad one. Bad one.
It was a pretty good one. So I can plus Jace.
Okay.
And it actually lets me... Oh yeah, I guess I'd show you with the...
Yeah.
So this lets me Detention Sphere this guy.
Okay.
And I plus Jace, and I'm free to use Heliod here to help protect him. Although it's possible he just has a removal spell, but what you gonna do? Go ahead.
Alright, so now a white source would be exceptional. And that's about it. Not a white source. Not a white source. Ugh. That's kind of frustrating.
And how good would Encroaching Waste be here? Killing that foil Guildgate.
It'd be pretty good.
It should be indestructible, to be honest.
Should be. It's a Guildgate.
It's a foil Orzhov Guildgate.
Can't be destroyed. So we can't attack with Mutavault, or he just makes a guy with Heliod and blocks, which is a little frustrating. And then we can't play both of these because he just Supreme Verdicts. So all we can do is just play one of them, which we'll do. And I think it's this one because this one just doesn't get past his Heliod. So we'll play a Night Veil Spectre and then pass the turn.
All right. So we're gonna make a guy.
Yep. It's a little frustrating that we're this deep into the game and we can't hit a white source, but we're actually still in the game. We're still very much in the game. So. And he is at 10, so we are actually like...
That was a pretty good draw.
We do have a reasonable amount of pressure on him. Unfortunately, he has had some pretty good draws, as he says, so...
But I think that I'm just going to plus Jace. We're going to send with this guy.
So he's attacking into our Night Veil Spectre. Which probably means he's going to just Supreme Verdict post-combat. The only other thing I can think of is that he drew a Warped Physique. But I feel like he's probably going to Supreme Verdict because he doesn't want us to connect with Spectre. Since like that's one of the few ways we can start to pull out of this. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and block. We'll see what happens.
It's dead.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna Supreme Verdict.
Yep. Okay.
I'll pass.
Okay. So we do get to hit Jace with Mutavault this turn, which is sweet. You have 2 cards?
Yep.
Okay.
Dose.
Rats. I think we start out by casting... Yeah. I'm gonna start by casting Sin Collector, actually. We'll see what we hit. He might have drawn a non-Supreme Verdict spell that we want to take. But we know we're gonna hit in Supreme Verdict regardless, so. Heroes, Downfall, or Supreme Verdict? Ooh.
I was hoping you would have just drawn a white source and jammed that up to that.
Yeah. So we our plan to win this game involves stuff that Heroes Downfall kills. So we will take the Heroes Downfall. Unfortunately, that prevents us from playing this, since it just gets Supreme Verdicted. But we do get to take Jace down to 2. So, and then we'll pass the turn. One of these days we'll draw a white source. I have faith. Basic Plains.
One of them.
Godless Shrine.
We'll bump this. I'll shock to 8.
Alright, shock into 8.
I'll pass.
Draw. Interesting.
Don't slow roll me, bro. You know I have a Supreme Verdict.
I know.
Excuse me. Oh no, you have land and a whip? Oh.
Interesting. You can just make 2 guys.
And if I draw into an Elspeth, I can attack you with my Heliod.
I don't think this card's that great against him because of the threat. Because he can just use Heliod to shut it down. So I think I'm going to play the Whip of Erebos. Unfortunately, we can't activate it yet, but next turn we can. And I'm going to go ahead and attack Jace. Sin Collector's just going to trade to the Heliod token anyway, so. Okay, so I'll gain 1 life.
Yep.
I go to 17. Only gain 1 because of Jace's +1. And I don't want to throw away my Mutavault yet for not much value, so I'll say go.
Make another one.
Okay. We can also whip in our Sin Collector next turn too and steal that Supreme Verdict if we need to.
Oh, that was a draw.
Sphinx's Revelation?
Even better. That was a draw.
If only we could draw something.
So we're gonna Jace.
Okay. Brick. Wow, okay, that is unreal. Blood, yeah. Blood Baron versus the rest.
So I think that, well, this card is awesome. I feel like, and you have 2 cards or 3? 3 cards. So I think that this is actually going to be better for me because now we have an answer for the whip already. So I think we're going to take these and put Blood Baron on the bottom.
Yep. That Elspeth that was on my opening hand.
Yeah. Let's see here. So this is interesting. I think that I have to take... Oh man, so it's definitely either going to be Whipzedeezy or Elspeth. I think that it has to be... Oops, I think it has to be Elspeth. Yeah, I'll take the Elspeth.
Okay.
So you have Demon Whipzedeezy.
Yep.
We're going to Needle the Whip.
Yep.
And we're going to battle with the Cleric.
15.
And then I'll pass the turn.
We are drawing really badly, unfortunately. But I'll go to my second main phase and cast the Desecration Demon. And pass the turn to you.
End of your turn, I will make a Cleric.
Yep.
That was a very good draw. Alright, well, we're going to battle with both of these guys.
Block one.
I'm going to +1. And I'll Thoughtseize you.
I drew a whip.
Sure, why not? And I go to 4. And now I have to decide if I want to Verdict now or if I want to just wait. Because I don't think that I have to Verdict this turn because Heliod can just like shut this demon down. So I'm going to pass the turn.
Yeah, this has been a very frustrating game, to say the least. Very frustrating.
I mean, you're just a white source from winning for like 17 turns.
Yeah. Our draws have been very, very bad. Even with Read the Bones, we put... Yeah. Maybe we should have put that Spectre on the bottom. I don't know. I think it was right to keep it. Go to attacks.
I'll tap.
Sure. Pass. It's not worth.
I'll make a guy.
It's not worth getting rid of our Mutavault at this stage in the game. So.
Sure.
Sphinx's Rub?
Yes. I'll attack.
11.
I'll plus Jace. And then pass.
Go to attacks.
I'll tap.
Well, since I know he drew a Revelation, normally I would probably attack with Mutavault here, but normally I wouldn't know that, so I'll just pass.
For 5.
Yep.
Go to 9. I'll play a swamp. Plus Jace. And then I'll Verdict. And then I'll pass.
Well, we hit our white source, and we'll put that on the bottom. Fortunately, it does not do us much good right now. Go ahead.
I'll make a guy.
Yep.
Minus Jace.
Elspeth versus the others.
Take the Elspeth. Attack.
9.
Play planes. Elspeth.
Okay.
Make 3 guys. And go.
Obsidat. I will go to 11, and you will go to 7. And I'll go to my end step.
This triggers. That's fine, he can go away.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a guy.
Sure.
And then I'll draw. And I could have done this last turn, but I'm going to attack you with Heliod and all of my creatures.
Oh yeah, Heliod's a dude now. I'm at 11.
Yeah.
So 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. I guess I'm not straight dead yet. I'll activate Metavolt.
I'll make you sacrifice a creature.
Okay, I'm dead.
That was like I had to devour flesh, but it still wasn't enough.
All right, we're back for game 4. Hopefully this time I can have...
Did you side your planes back in?
I sided in the other 9 white sources, so hopefully this time we can actually have a good one. Yeah, this hand's just a mulligan. We only have 1 land, so pretty
this
easy
hand
one.
doesn't have a whole lot going for it. However, another reason why I think that these cards are awesome is because you can keep hands like this, and it helps. So I'm going to keep.
All right, back for 6.
No white sources again?
And this hand is not exciting, but I think I have to keep it. Hopefully this Temple of Silence is good enough to get us there.
Dude, I love the Scry lands.
That's basically all I can say is hopefully it's good enough to get us there. So we will play it, Scry instantly on the bottom for that one, and pass the turn.
Alright, well, I also have a Temple of Silence.
Okay.
And we'll Scry. And I like that card, so I'll leave it there.
Draw. Yep. Thought sees you. So you have 2 downfalls, or 1 pithing needle, a grave, a plains, an island, and not a Sphinx's Revelation.
You're taking my Rev?
Yep.
I only have 1 land in play. I can't even cast it.
We're taking this Revelation because, based on our hand here, we're not going to be casting anything for an extremely long time. We don't care about any of those other cards, so go ahead.
Fair. Go.
The old draw. Yep. Thought sees you. It's possible
I drew
we.
far and away.
Okay, it's possible we actually probably should have waited on that thought seize. It was probably a mistake to cast it there, since we don't have another play for like 2.
I disagree. Like, I scried and left it on top. So
Yeah.
like,
I know it's a good card. Yeah.
There's definitely incentive to Thoughtseize there. Although I can't see the rest of your hand, but
Well, I mean, it's turn 3 and I'm still on 1 land.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. If we Thoughtseize here, it could be something he puts in play. But like, I guess all the things he can put in play cost 4 mana, so we can probably wait a turn.
That's true.
But we're gonna take the Pithing Needle here. We basically want to set up these cards as best as we can, in hopes that he doesn't do anything and we eventually draw lands. So, you're up.
I'd like another Scry land. That'd be nice. Or Read the Bones. That was not that. Right, so I'm going to play this island.
Okay.
And then I'll pass.
All right. We are in business. Bottom. You're up. If it's not a land, it's not coming into play. I'll say that much.
Go ahead.
All right. Draw. Go.
So any action spell would be awesome at this point. Go.
Any land. Land. He's just mono removal at this point. So I think we read the bones. Which will drop us to 14. We could also just play a creature, but he just gets to kill it at the end of his turn. And I'd rather, like, if he taps out for something, that's when I'd rather read the bones. So, yeah, I think we keep both of these. I'll just keep both of those.
Okay. That puts you back to 7.
And, yeah, you're up. All right. All right, awesome. So we are not getting super pressured here at this point in time, which is good news for us. We will play a Desecration Demon and probably move it towards our graveyard, but pass the turn.
So we have a couple different options, and I think that this is fine because we have so many just awesome cards in our deck. So I'm just going to pull the trigger on this for 3.
All right.
Could be wrong. I'm known to play Sphinx's Revelation decks very poorly, but we'll see what happens.
Okay.
All right, so we get to play this land. No, that can't be right. Yeah, I have to play this land. And we will cause his downfall.
Wait, what did you play this turn?
I played a swamp.
Oh, Swamp. Okay. He's dead.
Yep. And then it is your turn.
Okay. So we know he has like Far and Away and one more Hero's Demise. So we don't want to just like run something like this out into a removal spell. So we're going to play Temple of Silence. Look at this. We don't want this. Since we have this, this card isn't that good for us. So we will put it on the bottom. And then we will cast Night Veil Spectre and pass. Just try to run him out of removal.
Alright, so I'm going to Warped Physique this guy, since that's what I can do right now.
And we'll pass it off to you.
Alright, so an action spell would be nice. Maybe the 3rd Sphinx's Revelation. I'll take a Jace. I'm not that greedy. Alright, so we'll play this land.
Okay.
And I'll pass.
Alright, so this is where the fun hopefully begins. Draw. He might have a Detention Sphere in his hand. We know 2 of the cards in his hand. We know it's the Hero's Demise. Okay. And a Far and Away. So I think we're still just on the just get his removal out of here plan. So I'll just play Desecration Demon. Say go.
Alright, so he will meet his demise.
He's dead.
Alright, well, we're going to scry.
Probably not.
I'll hold it here so the rest of the viewers can just soak in how awesome this card is. And it's on the bottom.
Is it a basic land?
It produced mana, that's for sure.
Alright, so he's played 2 Heroes Demises. So we're going to hope he doesn't have another one. Play Elspeth. Sun's Champion.
Well, I did not even think about Elspeth. Alright, well, I think I'm just going to end up losing now because I...
3 dudes.
I just totally blanked on Elspeth and Demise killing Planeswalkers.
Also, our draw for turn is very good, in case he has like a D-Sphere or something. Alright. Draw. Not terrible. We'll attack for 3.
20.
Down to 20. We will make 3 dudes. Now that we have all these soldiers, we're actually safe to cast... we're actually safe to cast Obzedat into like his far and away type cards. So we'll do that. We go to 16, you go to 18?
Yep.
I'll go to mine instead.
Okay.
Gone.
So that was honestly probably about as good as I could hope for.
Rev.
But I'm sure he just has a glare of heresy anyways. So I'm going to shock.
16?
Play Elspeth.
Sure.
Make 3 dudes.
Okay.
Then it's your turn.
Dueling Elspeths.
Played this game so poorly.
Alright, the D's comes back. So I go to 18, you go to 14.
Yep.
Draw a card. Interesting card to draw. Glare your Elspeth. Now the question is, what do we do? I think we just attack with... We're at 18, you're at 14. I'm going to attack with everything here. If he kills our Obzedat, that's okay. But I think it's the best line is to attack first and then see what happens. Okay, so take 4. Go to 10. We lose 2 soldiers, but we're going to +1 Elspeth and get 3 more. And now Obzedat's still alive, so we will... And I don't want to overextend into a Supreme Verdict, so I'm just going to play it. A post-combat whip. If he had killed our Obzedat, we would have played this instead. So, I mean, it's a little... It may seem awkward to play this post-combat since it gives our guys lifelink, but our life doesn't matter that much, and we'd rather have the most options we can. And then I'll exile Obzedat.
Well, let's scry. That still loses to Elspeth's Ultimate.
Okay. Alright, he has Apparition or Whip.
I'll pass.
Obzedat comes back. So you go to 8, I go to 20. I don't think there is anything he can have if we just ultimate Elspeth. So I'm going to ultimate Elspeth. Give our guys +2/+2 in flying and attack with everything.
Alright, well, I'm still taking 15 regardless, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I just totally forgot about Hero's Demise. Here's Downfall, Killian, Elspeth.
Mhm.
And just like use those removal spells over the billion other removal spells that I had. The red for 3 was 3 lands. I just drew lands afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, we got pretty fortunate to win that game. Like, our opening hand had 2 Thought Seizes, so I knew we weren't, like, we were going to be fine for, like, a small period of time, but we had to either, with the Scry lands, hopefully draw into some more lands, which we didn't, but then once we didn't, we had to get lucky of him just flooding out, or drawing only removal spells, and that's what did happen. Alright, we are back for the final game.
Yep, game 5. I get to play. See which one of us will get unlucky this game, since that's what's decided the last two games.
Very true, very true.
Alright, so this hand, I mean, it doesn't do a whole lot, but I have some spells that I can cast, and I don't feel like this matchup is all about the early turns, so I'm actually going to keep it.
Yeah, this hand's kind of bad, but I'm not going to ship it either, and we're on the draw. We have plenty of draw steps to draw into stuff that's good, so yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable draw there, so we're going to pass the turn. I want to wait and see what he gets before we just start firing this off.
Go.
Draw. Okay. So we're going to play Temple of Silence before we do anything else, so that we get to Scry before we Thought Seize. That way we know a little bit. We don't want that card at all, so that doesn't actually change our decision making at all, since we don't know what we're drawing. But it's relevant to do that first, so we'll go to 18. Okay, so he has a Verdict, a Revelation, a Swamp, an Island, a Warped Physique, and a Missing Heliod. We're going to take Heliod here because that's the card that just absolutely scares us the most with this hand. So, go ahead.
Go.
All right. So, we have 2 options. Basically, like, we can play either of these 2 cards. And I actually want to just play this one. We know he has a Sphinx's Revelation in his hand, and if I just play this, it just gets Warped Physiqued for no value. So, I mean, it doesn't really, like, do anything to cast that card. So, we're just going to Thought Seize again. You drew a Plains, and we are taking Sphinx's Revelation. And I'm at 16. And you're up.
Go ahead.
All right. Draw. Okay. That'll be good for future. We will. So you have 4 cards in your hand? Okay. I'm going to cast a Night Veil Spectre and then play a Godless Shrine and say go. So this is probably just going to get physiqued, but I mean, we still want to play spells.
My turn?
So, yep.
Go. So this is just a very good showing of like why Thought Seize is a very powerful card.
Exactly, yeah.
Sometimes you have it and it just destroys your opponent's hand, and if they don't get lucky off the top of their deck, the game just does nothing.
Right, like basically here we know what the cards that we have in our hand, and we know the cards that we have a hard time beating. Like, our hand was very slow, so we can't beat cards like Heliod, we can't beat cards like Revelation.
Mm-hmm. But
we can beat any amount of removal spells. So having Thought Seize to take the cards we care about is just huge. And now we're going to play Obsidian. So we will go to 18, and you will go to 18, and I will try to go to my end step. All right, he's dead.
I'm going to choose the black half and make you sacrifice a creature.
Bounce it to my hand, and then... Okay. So Obsidian's dead, unfortunately, but we'll pass the turn.
All right, I'll take an Elspeth.
Please no.
Or a Jace.
Please no.
Or even a Revelation. I will Temple of Silence.
Okay.
Scry.
Elspeth, Jace, or Revelation?
I kind of want to keep this card because another Whipzedeezy would be very bad. And this gives us answers to an Whipzedeezy. So I think that I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You have 2 cards?
Yep.
Draw. Okay, I like that one. Mutavault is a perfectly reasonable gentleman. And hopefully it's not Hero's Demise on top. We're going to play Elspeth Sun's Champion. And we will make 3 dudes.
Yep.
Say go.
Go.
Alright, so we know his hand is Supreme Verdict something else. Okay. I like it. We'll examine what the bones have to say. Alright. So we'll end up at 16 when that one resolves. We get to scry 2. No. Well, actually, we kind of want both, right? Yeah, we actually want both of these. It may seem awkward to take this one, but it actually lets us... Well, no, actually we don't want this one. We don't want this one. Yeah, we'll put that one on the bottom. But we will take this, and we'll take that. Okay. Alright, that was fine. And we're going to play Whip of Erebos. And attack for 3. So we gain 3, he loses 3. We're at 19, he's at 15, and we'll make 3 more guys. And pass it off.
Okay. So... I drew this, and I have quite a few different targets for it. The only problem is the Whip can bring back Whipzedeezy, and then it just stays. I actually just have to get rid of the Whip.
I guess I should... One thing you can do is, if you have a removal spell for Whipzedeezy...
Yeah, while it's in play from the Whip, I can get rid of it, and then it goes away, but...
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, like, we definitely could have had some different lines had he not drawn a Mutavault the turn after we kept that card on top with the Temple, but them's the breaks. Yeah, so we're going to Sphere the Whip.
Okay.
And then Wrath. And pass.
Okay.
Which, none of that's very good at all, but we have to just do it.
2, 3, 4, 5. Shocker Souls. 17. Make 3 guys. I don't think Seavim's going to be particularly happy with this turn.
I'm sure you just have another Whip.
I don't have another Whip, but I do have another Whipzedeezy.
Oh, it's even better.
So I will go to 19, you'll go to 13, and then I have a Night Veil Spectre.
Sure.
And we'll exile Whipzedeezy.
Done?
Yep.
So 7, 9. So I'm dead to Exaxi. So I can Detention Sphere the Elspeth and then Devour Flesh you, but you hit me for exactly 13 with the Mutavault.
Yep.
So I'm dead. Just got double Thoughtseize and drew nothing.
Yeah. Alright, we are here for the conclusion of our epic battle to determine who gets to play Elspeth and then win and subsequently win the game. Basically was...
I mean,
pretty
the
much,
card's unreal.
yeah,
So.
pretty much the battle we had. So yeah, Elspeth is still unreal. Yeah, it's one of the best planeswalkers I think they printed in a while. I guess, Domri was pretty good too, but yeah, Elspeth's pretty unbelievable.
Like, Elspeth's good on just a completely different level because you don't have to build your deck to make her good. You literally could just have 56 cards and then put 4 Elspeth in it, and it instantly makes the deck better if you can cast the card.
Right, like, does your deck have white mana producing lands?
Yeah.
If so, Elspeth.
Yeah, the card's just really
Sun's
good.
champion. Hero's Downfall. We saw that a few times. It seemed pretty good.
Definitely seemed good. I played the card completely incorrect in Game 4. I think that if I would have used my other removal spells, then I would have been able to
Kill my
Hero's
Elspeth.
Downfall the Elspeth. When I drew the second one, I probably... Well, I had 2 in my hand from the start, so you
Right.
knew that I had them. So as long as I kept 1 in my hand, you just couldn't play the Elspeth. So, I mean, I don't know. It's at some point you'll probably draw a Sin Collector or another Thoughtseize to get rid of one, but I still should have held on to them and not used them when I did.
It's a number of turns you get where you're not facing down Elspeth.
Yeah.
But still, like just the threat of the card was very good, and it still kills Obsidian, still kills anything else. Like it's just, I think this card's going to be like very well, like heavily played. Might be better than Putrefy. It's probably on a very similar power level.
Yeah, it's on a similar power level. Putrefy can hit the whip, which is very relevant.
Putrefy can hit the whips. It can hit, Putrefy can hit all the
weapons,
all the gods' weapons. So probably
might end up being relevant, but
yeah,
I mean, Elspeth's really good. So
right. Speaking of the whip, we unfortunately CVM like pretty much insta killed it pretty much every game, but I think that goes to show how good it was. Like it was a must answer threat for him.
Yeah, definitely. Then, like, if I'm playing a deck that just doesn't have any interaction for it, it just takes over the game.
I just get to whip it at you.
Lifelink's relevant. Any creature that you get to rebuy with it is going to be good. So, I mean, the card is just unreal.
Yeah. Glitter of Heresy, again, only drew it once, but I got to exile an Elspeth with it. And
seems good.
Seems good. And even that game where I was stuck on 1 white mana for a really, really long time, if I'd ever drawn the Glare to deal with Heliod, I actually think I can still win that game.
Mm-hmm.
So that card, yeah, as good as advertised. I guess the last ones are the Temple of Silence along with Temple of Deceit. Very good.
I really liked
Scry. I liked it a lot. Yeah, Scry was good for both of us. Read the Bones, same thing. The Scry was great. There were a few times where I was like, ship both, get 2 fresh cards. Yeah, at worst it's Divination. I guess that dings you for 2, but yeah, the card's very good. And then the last card I want to talk about is Erebos. I never drew him. Same thing with Rescue from the Underworld. I didn't really have a chance to cast either of those cards, but I do actually think Erebos is probably pretty good. I think he would have been very good in this matchup.
Definitely, I think he's good in a deck if you have Whip in it, just because like the lifelinks can allow you to turn that life into cards. Plus, it just like shuts off Blood Baron, so you're not in a racing situation. Like, I'm not gaining life from Sphinx's Revelation. Plus, he just becomes a 5/7 that can attack.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the worst part of the card, is that he becomes an indestructible 5/7 that can attack.
And gain you 5 life if you have Whip in play.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty good.
Was there anything about your deck that you particularly would want to change?
I think that, like, the mixture of removal spells probably could be changed around a little bit.
Okay.
I also feel like Elspeth is so good. Like, I'm just gonna start playing 4 in the control decks and try that out.
And just
because like you just always want to cast it.
Yeah, start at 4 and see if that's too many.
Yeah, start at 4, see if that's too many. I mean, other than that, the deck felt fine. I probably want more than 1 Read the Bones. I think that card is very, very good.
Yeah.
I definitely want to play more Read the Bones.
Okay. As for myself, I feel like I want more Elspeth as well. Like, just main deck it. I probably still only want like 1 or 2. Or 2 or 3, I should say. I definitely want 2. But, yeah, I think the card's unreal. We've seen it twice now. So
Yeah,
I also feel like I need an answer to Blood Baron. Your Blood Barons in Game 1 wrecked me. I don't know if I need a main deck answer to Blood Baron, but I definitely want at least Devour Flesh on my sideboard, just some way to deal with it.
I think it's possible that you do want a main deck answer.
Okay.
Just because, like, there were 4 Esper decks in the top 8 in Pro Tour Dragon's Maze. Every single one had at least 2 Blood Barons in the main with more in the sideboard. So, like, I feel like the card is going to end up being played, especially if this type of deck turns out being very good and Blood Baron's a good card against it. I mean, it never hurts. Just just to have some. Like, it's probably just going to be better than Doomblade anyways. Or on par with Doomblade, anyways, since you have like 4 Doomblades in the main.
Yeah, like it could be it could be like, you know,
3 and 1 or 2 and 2 or
yeah,
whatever.
or 2 and 2 or something like that. That's probably fair.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, though, I was pretty happy with how it played out. Like, the mana was a little awkward. I kind of want another white source, but that also makes Night Veil Spectre worse. But Night Veil Spectre is like my best 3.
Hallowed Fountain.
Yep. Oh, that's a very good idea. I can play
just play some Hallowed Fountains.
I can play some Hallowed Fountains instead of Plains. They cast Night Veil Spectre, and they produce white. So yep, that's
It's the old Temple Garden in the mono red deck.
Yep. I can also play the. Oh wait, there isn't a blue-white one. Never mind. All right, Hallowed Fountain it is. So
in the next set, we get the blue-white Skyland.
Yep, but other than that, yeah, thank you all for watching. Next week we will be back with more Theros videos. Probably going to be playing some sort of a Naya deck. A lot of people wanted to watch that. I was actually originally going to be playing that, but then I saw the whip and had to change because I just love that card too much. So, but yeah, next time I'll probably be playing some sort of a Naya or red-green deck. And so we'll try out some of these other cards that we haven't had a chance to play with yet.
Absolutely, and again, the comments have been great the last couple of weeks. Feel free to let us know what you guys think, any suggestions, what you like, what you don't like. Brian and I read all of them. We try to respond to as many that warrant a response. There are some that obviously we're not going to respond to because they're not asking questions or it's not something that we can say, but we do like to have some dialogue with people that are responding.
Right, absolutely. And if you have any questions, any thoughts, ideas, etc., let us know. So,
Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.